4. A case of mistaken identity. The summer had ended and it was the month of Shravana. The rain had washed the muddy roads of Hubli when Venkatesh set out for Shigaon with Anant Patil. It was an hour's journey from Hubli. When they reached Shigaon, the pond outside the village was filled with water and there was greenery all around. The thread ceremony was in Deshpade Gully, thus named because all the residents in the lane were Deshpades. When Venkatesh stepped through the gates of the big ancestral house called Wade, he noticed that the walls were at least 18 inches thick and made of clay. There was a huge courtyard inside the house. The teakwood pillars and the ceilings had delicate carvings in the wood. This is so different from our Jayanagar bungalow back home, he thought. In Bangalore, it was almost mandatory to hire a big hall for such celebrations. But here, the ceremony was in the family home. Finally, Venkatesh spotted the boy or Vatu, whose thread ceremony was taking place. He was 8 years old. His head was shaved except for a little pigtail in the center of his head. Anant Patil said, since the ceremony was in the family house, we didn't even print invitation cards, Rao ji. We went from home to home and personally invited people. Tell me, what do you think of my ancestral home? It's really nice, replied Venkatesh, looking around. He noticed that Patil's relatives were still coming in. It seemed like he knew everyone in North Karnataka. There should be around 200 people here. Today, Patil said modestly. Please go ahead and meet your friends and relatives. Venkatesh felt like an outsider, despite the warmth of the people around. He added, meanwhile, I will take a look around and see the market. Patil laughed. Our whole Shigaon is just about one round. Please eat some chakkali and drink some rye. I will accompany you too. While they were talking, banana leaves had been spread in a line on the floor. People sat down and were served chakkali, avlaki, and besan laddu. Sensing his opportunity, Venkatesh slipped out of the house and went into the streets. He had not had a chance to buy a gift for the boy. So he asked an old man on the road, Sir, is there a jewelry store nearby? Yes, there is. It's in the center of Shigaon and is located near the old hospital. Banna Bhatta's house is also close to it. The shop belongs to Krishnachari. Venkatesh was confused. The landmarks didn't make any sense to him at all. He walked further, and that's when he realized that all the shops were located on one long street just like Brigade Road in Bangalore. Everything was available on this road. Within a few minutes, he found the shop. It was tiny and had a handwritten board displayed outside Sri Vishwakarma Nama, Sneha Jewellers, proprietor Krishnachari. He knocked at the door. An elderly man opened it and said, Come in, master. Why are you standing outside? Why is he calling me master? Venkatesh wondered. For a second, he thought that the man was talking to someone standing behind him. But when he turned around, there was nobody there. The man repeated, Master, please come in and sit down. I will be back in 2 minutes. Venkatesh entered the shop. There was an old desk in a corner, an old carpet on the floor, and a weighing scale in a glass box standing on the counter. The words Shabbalabha and a swastika mark were displayed on the wall and a framed cross-stitched picture of Balkrishna was hanging next to it. The whole place appeared ancient, especially compared to Krishna Chaitya's stylish shop on Bangalore's busy commercial street. Soon, the man came out of a room. He looked like he was around 70 years old. He took his time rearranging his dhoti and glasses. Then he looked at Venkatesh and said, Master, have you fixed your daughter's marriage? What? Whose daughter? Asked Venkatesh. The man adjusted his glasses and peered at him. Your daughter Mandakini. I don't understand. Why are you looking at me like that? Haven't you seen me before? I think you are mistaken. I'm not master, and my daughter's name is not Mandakini. Immediately, Krishnachari corrected himself. I'm sorry, sir, I mistook you for Shankar master. I haven't seen him for a long time. So I think I got confused. But is he related to you? I don't have any relatives in this area, said Venkatesh. Firmly. He changed the subject. I have come to your shop to buy a silver glass. Do you have any? Yes, yes, of course. What's your budget? Around 500 rupees. All right, let me show you what I have. Krishnachari opened an antique wooden box and took out 3 silver glasses wrapped in an old cloth. There really weren't many options. While Venkatesh was trying to make his choice, Krishnachari observed him keenly. After Venkatesh had picked one and paid for it, the shop owner asked him again, May I ask where you have come from? There is an uncanny resemblance between master and you. I'm from Bangalore. Venkatesh didn't want to answer any more questions and swiftly exited the shop. Krishnachari kept looking at him as he walked away. When Venkatesh returned to the Deshpande mansion, banana leaves were already laid out for lunch. Anant Patil caught him the moment he saw him. Where have you been? Everyone is waiting for you. Come, let's eat and leave. It looks like it's about to rain heavily. Venkatesh nodded and went to meet the Vatu. The boy was sweating profusely and was surrounded by a lot of guests. Venkatesh waited his turn and presented the boy with a silver glass. After that, he joined Patil for lunch. As they were walking out of the gate after their meal, someone patted Venkatesh on the back and said, Shankar, let's go to Kundagola together this year. Venkatesh turned around to see a stranger in a white kurta and dhoti. The man's lips were red because of the pan in his mouth. I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong man. I have never been to Kundagola. Before he could even complete his sentence, the man retorted, Shankar, don't give me any excuses. Don't come if you don't want to, or are you still angry with me? You don't understand. I'm not Shankar. Anant Patil also tried to correct him. Parappa, do you know who he is? This gentleman is the new manager of State Bank of India in Hubli. He is staying with us. I think you have had too much tobacco this morning, and it has gone to your head. Then Patil turned to Venkatesh and said, Raoji, please don't misunderstand him. He must be intoxicated. This man is very fond of Hindustani music, especially if it's the Kirana Gharana. He visits Kundagola every year for the music festival. Rappa was still staring at Venkatesh in disbelief. Finally, he said, I swear that he looks exactly like Shankar Master. Now that I see him closely, I find that Shankar Master looks a little older. Still, both of them are so alike that they could almost be twins. Raoji, please forgive me. Venkatesh nodded. Distracted, he walked towards Patil's car, and soon they were on their way back to Hubli. Venkatesh felt uneasy. He asked Patil, the people in Shigon mistook me for Shankar Master not once, but twice. Who is this man? Patil laughed. Who knows? My mother says that everyone in this world has 6 lookalikes. I believe that mine are in other countries because I haven't met anybody here who looks like me. Maybe your lookalike is right here in this district. Days passed and Venkatesh forgot about the incident a short while later. It was time for the annual Ganesh festival. He was surprised to notice that the celebrations in Hubli surpassed even those in Bangalore. Every street had a Ganesh. Each Ganesh wore different clothes from diverse backgrounds. There was a Ganesh from Karpal, a military Ganesh, a computer operating Ganesh, and a guitar playing Ganesh. Patil insisted, Rao JS, please don't go to Bangalore for the Ganesh festival. It is worth seeing it here in Hubli. I'd love to take you to Idguji and Sonda. You may never get such an opportunity again. Gauri also thought that it was a good idea and encouraged him to go. Her exams were near and she rarely called him now. However, Shanta phoned him and said, You should come back soon. We have to choose a girl for Ravi, and we can't do it until you come home. Venkatesh knew that that was not true. He replied, Perhaps the girl has already been chosen? No, of course not. How can we choose a girl without you? Besides, Ravi is busy these days. He is traveling to Singapore next week. Can you please buy 2 Dharwad saris and bring them whenever you come to Bangalore? I'd like a black or blue saris with a red border and a light green sari with a dark green border. The color combinations confused Venkatesh. He rarely went shopping, so he asked a lady colleague for guidance. She told him, Sir, you can go to Babu's shop in Broadway or to Gangavati's shop in Dajibanpet. You'll definitely get these combinations there. Venkatesh thanked her and went straight to Babu's shop in Broadway. A stranger came up to him and said, Master, please keep my bag with you for a few minutes. While you are here, I'm going to the shop next door and will be back shortly. The man left without waiting for an answer. Venkatesh was puzzled. He had never met the man before. Who knew what the bag contained? Maybe it was a bomb, or even stolen goods. Was somebody playing games with him? He became tense and worried. Unable to contain himself any longer, he opened the bag and browsed through it. To his surprise, he found green chilies and a bar of butter. Relieved, he kept the bag aside and continued shopping. At the cash counter, he told the salesman, Please give this bag to the man who comes looking for Shankar Master. One thing was certain, there was a Shankar Master around who resembled him. Have made a mistake. Mistake, but 3. Venkatesh was curious.